Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Naruttamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudire Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Shrunatam Sakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantasto Yabhadrani Vidunoti Suhitsutam. Hare Krishna. We are reading from Bhagavad Gita, verse number 37 from chapter 6. I'll share my screen. Arjuna Uvacha Ayatih Shraddhayopete Yogaschalita Chalitamanusaha Aprapya Yoga Sansiddhim Kam Gatim Krishna Gacchati. Arjuna Uvacha Ayati Shraddhayopeto Yogaschalita Manasa Aprapya Yoga Sansiddhim Kam Gatim Krishna Gacchati. Arjuna Uvacha Ayati Shraddhayopeto Yogaschalita Manasa Aprapya Yoga Sansiddhim Kam Gatim Krishna Gacchati. Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna said, Ayate, the unsuccessful transcendentalist, Shraddhaya, with faith, Upeta, engaged, Yoga, from the mystic link, Chalita, deviated, Manasa, who has such a mind, Aprapya, failing to attain, Yoga Samsiddhim, the highest perfection in mysticism, Kam, which Gatim, destination, Krishna, O Krishna, Gacchati, achieves. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the destination of the unsuccessful transcendentalist who in the beginning takes to the process of self-realization with faith, but who later desists due to worldly mindedness and thus does not attain perfection in mysticism? Purport. The path of self-realization or mysticism is described in Bhagavad Gita. The basic principle of self-realization is knowledge that the living entity is not this material body, but that he is different from it and that his happiness is in eternal life, bliss and knowledge. These are transcendental beyond both body and mind. Self-realization is sought by the path of knowledge, by the practice of the eightfold system, or by Bhakti Yoga. In each of these processes, one has to realize the constitutional position of the living entity. Constitutional position of the living entity. His relationship with God. And the activities whereby he can reestablish the lost link and achieve the highest perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness. Following any of the above mentioned three methods, one is sure to reach the supreme goal sooner or later. Okay. This was asserted by Lord in the second chapter. Even a little endeavor on the transcendental path offers a great hope for deliverance. One of these methods, the path of Bhakti Yoga, is specially suitable for this age because it is the most direct method of God realization. To be doubly assured, Arjuna is asking Krishna to confirm his former statement. One may sincerely accept the path of self-realization, but the process of cultivation of knowledge And the practice of the Eightfold Yoga systems are generally very difficult for this age. Therefore, despite constant endeavor, one may fail for many reasons. First of all, one may not be sufficiently serious about following the process. To pursue the transcendental path is more or less to declare war on the illusory energy. Consequently, whenever a person tries to escape the clutches of the illusory energy, she tries to defeat the practitioner by virtue of allurements. A conditioned soul is already allured by the modes of material energy, and there is every chance of being allured again, even while performing the transcendental disciplines. This is called Yoga Chalit Manasa, deviation from the transcendental path. Arjuna is inquisitive to know the results of deviation from the path of self-realization. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitnamine Namaste Sarasdeve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desha Tarine Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Ikamanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpataru Vesha Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Nityananda Vadutendu Vasad Prana Vallabh Janav Jivitpati Krishna Prema Padat Prabhu Padmavati Shuta Shriman Sachinandana Purvajaha Bhavan Mukta Jagatrata Rakta Gaur Kalevaraha Namo Namo Niruddhaya Rishikesh Indriyatmane Nama Paramhansaya Purnaya Nivritatmane Swarga Purgadwaraya Nityam Shuchi Sade Namah Namah Hiranya Viryaya Chaturhotraya Tantave. Hare Krishna. First of all, I'd like to pay my humble obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnavas, to their lotus feet, and seek their blessings so that I can say something which adds some value to this hour. I'd also like to pay my humble obeisances to His Grace Simeshwar Prabhu. He ordered me to say something on this verse, and then he must have given his blessings and empowerment so that I can say something of value to this hour. In this particular verse, or in this chapter, Arjuna, or the main theme of discussion in this chapter is mind. And Arjuna is asking different questions. And then Krishna is actually describing that how to control mind, and then what to do with that. So this chapter's title is Dhyana Yoga. And the process described is actually how to meditate on the Lord, or follow the steps of Ashtanga Yoga. And in this, this is the chapter which is actually building up the foundation for Bhakti Yoga. Right at the last verse of this chapter, actually establishes that. Okay? And when we actually talk about yoga, it was very nicely explained by His Holiness Rumapad Swami Maharaj when he was talking on this chapter summary. He covered the first half of the chapter. He said that yoga, and acharyas have iterated it many times, yoga means to link or to connect. Okay? And this connection is connecting with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna. If the purpose of the yoga is not to make this connection with Supreme Personality of Godhead, then it cannot be categorized as yoga. That's a pseudo yoga. That's not at all a yoga. Okay? Be it karma yoga, dhyana yoga, jnana yoga, bhakti yoga. It has to be connection with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Okay? Any other yoga, any other purpose than this is not at all yoga. Okay? So it has to be very clear. And what is that connection? That connection is Jivara Sarupa Hoy Nitya Krishna Das. Understanding this, that the purpose of this yoga system is to ensure that we understand and realize this difference between knowing and realizing. There's a subtle difference and a huge difference. Subtle difference is that, again, it's kind of sounds synonyms, that knowing something or realizing. But at the same time, subtle in the sense that if we know it will convert into actions. That knowledge will convert into action. And that's the main difference. If somebody knows that there is a very beautiful movie, it's highly acclaimed, and there's an orphan boy, and he was adopted by a family, and then later on that person actually traces his route back and then finds his parents. There's some unfortunate incidents, and because of that the parents lose the boy, and then he actually gets raised in a much better environment than what his original biological parents could have afforded. But as soon as he traced back and he realized and he found out that who my real parents were, that love exchange was right there. That's called knowledge and realization. So similarly, as soon as we all know that, okay, we are created by Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Okay? We are his part and parcel. But when that realization sinks in, then that love affair, Krishna being in the center, serving Krishna, that will automatically happen. There's no impetus, no request, no somebody asking will no, that it will automatically flow, it will automatically happen. Okay? That as soon as that realization happens. So we have to understand that yoga means connecting oneself to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. First, knowing that I am not this body, I am much beyond that. And my original position is to be Satchitanand, always in true knowledge, and eternal and in blissful condition. Now, here in the verse, Arjuna is asking that or yati. Yati means the sannyasi or a practitioner or renounced. So oyati, oy is negation of that. So what happens to the one who no more remains a transcendentalist or deviates? No? So the qualification is that further he is qualifying that, okay, Krishna, you nicely explained to me this whole Ashtanga Yoga process, and it sounds very difficult. Now I want to start it, but what if I fail? No, because it's a difficult process. What if I fail? What happens there? So it's kind of, uh, asking Krishna to give some kind of guarantee that, okay, please tell me that what will happen. I want to know the end result of it. No? Like it's a, hey Krishna, I'm sorry about that. For example, whenever we start, um, preparation, we have this, okay, plan A and plan B. Okay. And that's where Arjuna is asking that, okay, fine, we'll actually do upeta means engage, those who have engaged shraddhaya with, with faith in this process of yoga system. And what if they fail? Okay. So what will happen? And why people can fail? Because he's giving the reason also, that chalita manasa. No? Chalita means deviation. Prabhupada is translating. And manasa is mind. And what will happen? And they don't achieve the desired goal. So later on, Krishna will actually tell that what happens in the later verses. Okay? Now, and then we will get to that. Okay. And he's also saying that yoga siddhim, what is the highest perfection of mysticism? What we talked earlier, what I said earlier, that establishing the link with Krishna, understanding that Ishvara Parama Krishna, Satchidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. Understanding that, that everything is Krishna. Okay? And if that is not achieved, now in the purport, Prabhupada is starting with that there are three ways one can actually establish this link with Krishna. Now he's saying that those three ways are knowledge, okay, Ashtanga Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. Now Prabhupada actually, we see that he doesn't consider, and that's what he's saying, that yoga means, some people can say that, oh, I am devotee of Ganesha, or I am devotee of Saraswati Mata, or I am Bhakta, devotee of Bhakta or Bhakti. That's here, it's actually, if we read Bhagavad Gita, we understand that that's not Bhakti, or that's not Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga means that trying to serve Krishna. In a what do you call, figurative use of that word, we can actually say, and that we there are we are bhakta of some politician, or we are bhakta of a country, or we are bhakta of a family, okay, or parents, all that. But yes, that's important, having some respect to our ancestors, respect to our motherland. But at the same time, it cannot be categorized as bhakti. That's not bhakti. Bhakti simply means bhakti to Krishna. Now, Prabhupada is saying that this process of self-realization, he in the other purpose he mentions that yes, somebody maybe aiming directly not for Krishna, but is aiming for Brahma Jyoti, or somebody is aiming for Super Soul, okay, to understand and realize. Uh, and then someone may be aiming for, Krishna directly, Goloka Vrindavan. But, and that's okay, because, Krishna can be, or Bhagwan can be realized in three forms, Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagwaneti. So, Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, and Bhagwan realization. But it has to be, with Krishna and his part in Krishna's expansions. Okay? And that can be somebody can be a devotee of Bhakta of Lord Ramchandra ji, Lord Balaram, Narsimhadev, and there's no problem there. That's perfect bhakti yoga. Okay. Now, so we discussed about yogi, that yogi is the one who is actually trying to establish his link with the Supreme. Second part now. How do we know that, okay, this person or this bhakti, one is that, how do we know that this person is making progress? So, samam pashyati, this also came in verse number 32, and then it comes later also in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Okay? Then we start looking at everybody in connection with, in relationship with Krishna. Whether it is another person or any material thing, everything is connected to or is in the context of Krishna. Okay. Krishna also says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanni, Brahmane Gavi Hastini, Suni Chaiva Sopakecha, Pandita Samadarshina. Samadarshina, Samam Pashyati is same. So here in the picture we are seeing that how a Pandita, a learned person, or a devotee who sees everything in connection with Krishna is seeing Krishna in the heart of everyone, every living entity. So far so that even beyond living entities. So that is that's the sign, okay, that we start bringing Krishna in the center of everything. We start bringing him in our day-to-day routine. Our actually day revolves around the service of Krishna. Yeah. Generally, devotees have a morning routine where we do japa, we read some shastra, we do some aratika, some offering. Okay. At the same time, we should try to bring in our daily routine some evening program also, some evening sadhana also. And that way, morning and evening both are nicely connected. And this is a wonderful, platform being provided by our temple management, that in the morning we have wonderful Bhagavatam class every day. We were discussing other day in our friend group that we struggle sometimes. Devotees have aim, and then they ask but we struggle to finish up Srimad Bhagavatam. How do we read Srila Prabhupada's books? And then we just have to show up to these classes which are being organized by this platform, being organized by uh, our temple management. The morning 6:30 to 7 is Srimad Bhagavatam, and then evening 7 to 8 is Bhagavad Gita. That's wonderful. And then without knowing much, we will see that, okay, we have wonderfully finished these books. We have, and not only just no finished it, we are going through so many realizations of different devotees. So many devotees are putting so much effort to read in, bring in realizations, different ways, different perspectives to look at the same verse. So it's very wonderful. We cannot, thank the ISKCON of Central New Jersey Yatra sufficient. And it's a great cleansing process. Whenever I'm ordered to speak on any verse, I realize that it's a great cleansing process for me. That it's not that I have any qualification to come and then speak on these verses. No, it's the mercy. It's the mercy, and then through that mercy, and then it's like process to clean my heart. So much of dirt has accumulated on that, and then maybe through this endeavor I'll be able to remove some dirt. Cheto darpana marjanam. Some cheto darpana marjanam can happen. Okay, cleansing of the heart can happen. So that's why this is a blessing which is being given in the form of an order, and not by looking at any qualification in me. Srivandan Prabhu says that we are Kripa Siddhas. What does Kripa Siddha means? That there is one like sadhakas. Sadhakas is like, okay, on my strength, I'm going to do this sadhana and achieve the desired goal. On the other side is that Kripa Siddhas, that, okay, fine. I know that you do not have qualification, but there's some endeavor or something I'm seeing, or may not be even that, because we see from the story of Jagai and Madai what kind of qualification they had. When Nityanand Prabhu went to their doors to request them that please take the name of Hari, what did they do? Threw pot on Lord Nityanand Prabhu's head, and then it was so hard that he started bleeding. And when he started bleeding, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw that he could not control his anger, and he immediately invoked the Sudarshan Chakra. And what did Lord Nityananda do? He held his feet and said, if you will actually start doing this, you'll start killing people for their offenses in Kali Yuga, you're Mahavadanyaya. First of all, you have taken this avatar so that you can deliver the people of Kali Yuga without any qualification. And if you start killing them for such offenses, you'll have to wipe out the entire planet Earth. Nobody is qualified. So that's the meaning of Kripa. And by the mercy, it's by the mercy and the Kripa. And so it's the mercy which will, I'm praying that it will cleanse my heart and will revive the love for Supreme Personality of God. Now, in this later on in the chapter, the context of this question is that people, Arjuna is saying that, okay, there will be people who will start on the process of yoga, but they will deviate, and they are called yoga brashtas. Okay. So here in the picture, it's what it is saying is that mind is actually driving or senses are these horses are being are indicated of the senses, and they are pulling mind, and then soul is just, or our we are actually going in that direction. So a yogi has to controls senses and the mind. Okay? That's the process. And actually, in the it's actually recommended. Krishna actually recommends that. How does that happen? That happens through abhyasa and practice. Abhyasa is practice, and then controlling the senses. That's brahmacharya. Okay, and then through that process, we'll be able to control our senses. And there is a very, very simple process also described and recommended by Prahlad Maharaj, and that is that engaging our senses in the 9 processes of devotional service. Because if we give the higher taste, acharyas say that we cannot actually control. It's very difficult to control the senses. Senses are there to be attracted by the sense objects. That's their job. So if somebody's job is like eye's job is to look, so we cannot actually stop it from looking at something. The only thing we can do is that give it a higher taste. And similarly, ear, or hands, our tongue. Okay, the only thing can be done is to control them, is to give them higher taste. And if we give the higher taste, then it will not deviate for the lower sense gratifications. And what is the higher taste? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedana. For the ear, it's the listening Krishna Katha. Kirtanam is singing the glories of Krishna, and also be used for tasting the wonderful prasadam offered to Krishna. Vishnu Smaranam, mind dwelling on the pastimes of Lord Hari. Padasevanam, visiting the temple, serving the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of God. Archanam, Vandanam. Archanam is doing, puja, and Vandanam is singing again glories. Dasyam, serving. Sakhyam, and Atmanivedanam, complete surrender. So this is the process to avoid this being yoga brashtas. But at the same time, just by our endeavor, if we think that we will be able to control our senses, it's not possible. And there are so many examples. in our Vedic Shastras. A very primary example is of Kaushik or Vishwamitra, that how he was so powerful that he created in the lineage of Lord Ramchandra, a king came. His name was Trishanku, and he was actually he desired that he wanted to attain the heavenly planets in his own body, and he consulted his Kuluguru Vasishtha, and he said that it's not possible, and I'm not going to support you in this activity. And knowing the rivalry between Vasishtha and Vishwamitra, King Trishanku approached Vishwamitra. And Vishwamitra, he said, okay, fine, and I'll do it. And then he did, and he did so much so that he created a galaxy. And in that heavenly planets, he put Trishanku. And then after that, he was actually attracted to Menika. So see how a person who is so ascetic, who is so powerful, and on the path to becoming Brahma Rishi, a sadhu, is also can be, first in the example of Trishanku playing on his ego against and rivalry against Vasishtha, asked him to use his power to give some kind of blessing to Trishanku. And then second is that after that, Vishwamitra was attracted to Menika. So from here we can understand that even we have to be very humble and always pray to Lord Shiv to protect against Maya. I was reading somewhere that one time Srila Prabhupada was praying to his Lordship, and some devotee asked that, Prabhupada, what were you praying? And he said that I was praying to Krishna that please protect me from Maya. Okay. That's something. And that he's actually, that's why Srila Prabhupada is called as great Acharya. That he's showing by the example that just by our own efforts we cannot get protection with against Maya. That was what was mentioned in the purport also. That doing bhakti is waging war against Maya. And then in the later verses, Krishna will tell that, okay, those who fail are primarily fall in two categories. Okay. What are those categories? First one is that a yogi who has performed sadhana for a very short duration. Okay. And then second one is that a yogi who has performed the sadhana for a long duration. Okay. And what happens? Those who have performed for a short duration are, when they fail, then what happens? They get birth in either Suchinam or Srimatam. What does Suchinam and Srimatam means? Suchinam is getting a birth in a family which is pious, religious, pure, more on the purity side. Okay. And then from there, the devotee by utilizing the environment can make further progress, further advancement in Krishna consciousness. Or second example can be Srimatam. Srimatam is getting birth in a aristocratic, opulent, mercantile, royal family. And what does that do is that this person will not have to worry about, daily bread and butter. Can use his position in developing Krishna consciousness. And there is this third category, Yogi Nam Dhimatam. That means Yogi Nam is Transcendentalist, and Dhimatam is, a family of Yoginam Dhimatam together means that a family, Transcendentalist, Krishna conscious family. And those who have performed their sadhana for a long duration, they take birth in such family. And Srila Prabhupada takes his, and His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada and Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Maharaj. He says that, both of us were fortunate to take birth in such families. Where on one side, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, and on the other side, Gaur Mohan. They actually guided their sons on the process of bhakti. Here there's an example that how this kid is actually in the presence of Srila Prabhupada. So this very fortunate position to be born in such family where parents are devotees. And parents also have to understand that the soul which is coming is a special soul, and it's our great fortune that they are here. And that's how we see them in connection of Krishna, that as a great responsibility and nurture Krishna consciousness in them. So in the purpose, it is said that it's very difficult, it's much more effort to achieve the desired goal of love of Krishna from Suchinam and Srimatam positions than from Yoginam Dhimatam. Because just like, Ashtanga Yoga is a difficult process, ultimately it will reach, but Bhakti Yoga is a direct process. So similarly, while being born in a pious family and or a rich family, one will not have to worry about, but it's worry about, day-to-day problems, or the environment is right, but at the same time, direct path is not there. But in this Krishna conscious, taking birth in a Krishna conscious family means directly getting engaged. That's what is. And finally, then Krishna actually confirms, will confirm in this chapter that, okay, so this is kind of giving assurance that don't worry, Kaunteya pratijana hi na me bhaktya pranashyati. So is actually kind of giving assurance what he has spoken, at multiple places throughout Bhagavad Gita, that even a small effort in bhakti is not lost. Don't worry about that. And then it starts from that position where somebody lives. So this is the surety. And then the chapter 6 ends with योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान भजते यो मां स्वमे युक्त तमो मत. No? The highest yogi, because Krishna is giving has given like karma yogi, jnana yogi, no, now ashtanga yogi. So question uh, is asked that then which one of this is better? So that's why Krishna is answering yogi namapi sarvesham, among all the yogis. Madgatena antaratmana, no, in their heart, no, madgaten, no, coming to me, okay? Shraddhavan bhaste yoma, then with love and great devotion, somebody who is serving me. Okay? Same yukta tamomata. He is the best of the group. So this should actually give us the confidence to proceed on the bhakti yoga. And then I wanted to just read this third shloka of nectar of instruction. No, it's wonderful. Utsaha nischaya dhairya tat tat karma pravartana sanga tyagat sato vritte shadvir bhakti prasiddhyati. No? So for the bhakti, these are the 6 things which we have to actually, which are favorable and should be done. Utsahan, with great enthusiasm, nishchaya, great determination, and dharya, with great patience. Tat tat karma pravartana, doing the devotional service. Sanga tyaga, and then giving up the association of non-devotees. Sato vritti. And then seeking the association of devotees. These are the 6 which actually help us in the process of bhakti. Okay. So Hare Krishna, I think it's time also. There are a couple of minutes left. So please, share. Take these few minutes to share your, realizations, any comments, any corrections. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Guruji. Dandot Pranam. Wonderful class. Very nice to hear the glories and the position of the living entity, the soul. How we can understand or realize ourselves. In this chapter, yoga is mainly mentioned. So this class and this entire chapter is to understand what is yoga. That's we were going through. Thank you so much for Guruji for nicely explaining. So dear devotees, this is the time for question, reflections, realizations. Anything you would like to add? So let's discuss. Whatever. If you have any questions, so this is the time for it. Please go ahead. Nobody had anything to add? So then shall I ask a question? So Prabhuji was mentioning about the Trishangu. Was a king. Anybody knows why Trishangu is decided to attain in the same form, in this human form, in the same form, and wanted to enter into the heavenly planets? Anybody know the reason? Anybody? No? Nobody? So one reason was he was a king and he was so beautiful, so handsome. At that point of time, there is none compared his beauty and handsomeness anybody else. He is so proud of it. So he would does not want to lose it because of he's so attracted. Everybody is because of his beauty and charm and handsomeness. He didn't want to lose that. So he wanted to enter that same body, same beauty, so that in heavenly planets everybody is so beautiful, demigods. He wanted to become one of them with the same body. So that's the one, and Prabhuji was very nicely mentioning about it. So we are so proud of so many things. We wanted to maintain that same, and we do everything we want. It's not possible. So then we go away from the real aspect of the life. We unnecessarily put all this endeavor for to keep this temporary material things, and why it is mentioned, this beautiful stories. Why it is mentioned in these scriptures, and we are learning and listening, but these are the underlying facts of each and every word of Bhagavad Gita, each and every word of Srimad Bhagavatam, Mahabharatam, Ramayana. This was mentioned in Ramayana. So, but it was not possible. He completely devastated. He approached Vasishta, then finally Vishwamitra, then somehow Vishwamitra did it. Yagya, he could enter into the heavenly planets, but Indra was not allowing. So Indra pushed him down. So again he came back. Vishwamitra again did it. Yagya and Tapas. He again went entered. Indra this time, put him down and upside down. See that the difficulties one who goes through. So this, he put him upside down, and this time his head is down and legs are up. He was in so much of pain. And Trishangu was very happily living, and if he understood the purpose of life and he pursued for it, would have clearly attained at least some extent. But unnecessarily, he took these steps and his whole life. And not only that, Vishwamitra created a heaven in between the heaven and earthly planetary system, and Indra pushed him down there, and he is upside down for a long time, and he has so much pain. We know that if somebody hang you on the legs upside down, how much time more you can tolerate? It's not possible. So he was like that. So why this story is mentioned, because of this all very much. See, anything which is not mentioned, if we endeavor for anything which is not in our life or karma or whatever it is extra, we have to suffer for it. So that we are all doing that. We have a beautiful life, or at least some extent, Krishna conscious life, family, everything. At least we have something to eat, some shelter to sleep, or some bed. Not only that, we are overeating, especially the devotees. So much of prasadam, isn't it? At least I think the last, not this week, last 3 weeks, at least every week there was Chapan Bhog. I have still with me the prasadam from the Chapan Bhog. No way to eat. Every day Chapan Bhog eating. So this is the case of the devotees. But still, our mind, our senses, endeavor for more. Let me get more. Let me get more. Let me get more. And we suffer. Lost. Like Krishanku. Upside down. Yeah. So thank you so much. Just wanted to add that reflection of when Prabhuji mentioned about Krishanku. The story is so, powerful. This is a wonderful story. One can really take the lot of lessons from each of this. In the case of Vishwamitra, if you take, 60,000 years, not only just 2 years, 3 years. Here, 2 hours we say, please chant. We cannot even put our mind and focus. That was not the case for Vishwamitra. 60,000 years Vishwamitra did the penance in the forest alone, without food sometimes, without anything, without just fruits. And just by the what is called the sound of tinkling sound of Menaka, everything is gone. He did it again. Same. 60, 70,000 years again. Then he lost all the power he put for the Trishankur. Because he put all his powers for the Trishankur. And he did it again. That's the time, third time he got the position of a Brahmarshi. As a Rajarshi began at the beginning. Then he at least get the position of a Vasishta Brahmarshi. Think about it. Yeah, so beautiful, wonderful. Thank you. Anything? Anybody else? Any devotees? Please bring any questions. Anything to add? Any reflections? So what was you didn't like the class, or it was too much, or everything was wonderful and clear? There is no doubt at all. Is it any? Everybody can unmute, right? Please, at least say something. Able to hear? So
very nice class, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam. Very nice class, Prabhuji. At least I had always had a question that, if we leave this body while in doing some service, where will we go and what will happen, So at least it got answered. So, yeah, very, very nice class. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
yeah. Anybody else? Thank you, Prabhuji. It was quite extensive, wonderful in terms of the yoga, the meaning of yoga, what is to be done. We can attach to Krishna and detach from this material world. Without the mercy, kripa, it's not possible. So thank you so much for connecting. And also you put a wonderful point of yoga. I mean, many times, we ask these questions, and are we really doing a yoga? And also you mentioned about the bhakti yoga. Bhakta is a position, bhakta is a by the mercy that one attains, not our own endeavor. So it's really a mercy. Roji nicely covered. The mercy of the devotees, mercy of the Lord. Without the mercy of Lord and the devotees, we cannot sit here, even hear this. We cannot talk anything about Krishna. We will not have the devotees. We look at the world, the 7 billion or 7.5 billion people in the world. How many people really come to this way, to this point of time to realize, understand this transcendence or the transcendental or spiritual matters, realize at least some extent I mean, I'm sure most of you have the taste of the Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, you won't come here and sit here and listen to this. Why it is happening? Because of the mercy of the Lord, the mercy of the Supreme. So we pray that please continue to shower the mercy so that we can at least some extent purify. It's very difficult to come out this material world. When you must have seen that when you put like a clear water, we put a drop of ink, we put a drop of ink, what will happen? It's not water anymore. I mean, it's not clear water anymore. That is exactly our condition, this material world. And think about it, from a water which is contaminated, which is mixed with ink, how easily you can clear that out? Anybody knows how easily we can take it? I mean, putting an ink was very easy. Just a drop you put it. How easy we can clear that out? Nobody knows. Very difficult, isn't it? We have to apply some other chemicals and clear that out, another chemicals, another purifier, so many things. That's exactly our life. So it's very easy to contaminate our senses and the mind. Very difficult to come out. So this is the process. This is a purifying process. This is the process by which only that we can purify. So it's our endeavor. Without the endeavor, the mercy won't come. So please continue. So tomorrow is Ekadashi, another wonderful opportunity to purify ourselves. Chanting in the morning start at 5 o'clock. 6:30 is Bhagavatam class. Then continue chanting if you have time. Then we have an opportunity to observe the fast, minimally fasting from grains and beans. Some doesn't even take that. Some just eat some fruits. How many of you take the Ekadashi fast with just fruits or even without water? Anybody? Can you just raise your hands? Anybody takes the Ekadashi without water? Anybody is there? Or just with the fruits? Yes, Janagi Mataji takes without water. Vimal Gupta Proji. Nirjala?
Yes, Prabhu, Nirjala.
Wonderful. Very nice. Janagi Mataji, you too? Nirjala?
Yes, Prabhu.
Wow.
Whenever I can, I always try to do that.
Wonderful. Very nice. Please do so. It's very, very wonderful. It's very empowering, very purifying. And then chanting the holy name, Krishna conscious. It helps a lot. And then we can have go ahead.
I want to share something. Like,
Please.
I had 3 times kidney stone problem also, but it's mercy of Lord that He takes care of everything, and I'm saying Nirjala.
Yeah. Krishna consciousness gives lot of strength, and in the Vishnu Sahasranam it says that when you chant the holy name and take the fast and regulate, and there is all the diseases will be cured. All the diseases will be cured. It's a medicine also. So wonderful, very nice. And some can even just fruits, or if even just minimally, just from the grains and the beans, and reduce the eating habits. Maybe eat 3 times instead of 3 times, maybe 2 times, maybe 1 time, or things like that. And then focus more on Krishna. Don't engage or enter into the kind of unwanted talks or unwanted discussions or all these things. The main thing is actually to reduce, to come out from these worldly things and focus more on Krishna, and then reduce that, all these worldly things like, getting into the newspaper, getting into the internet, or whatever it is, whatever we say. Listen lectures or Bhagavatam classes while chanting and focusing and hearing all these things, and, like that. Also, evening we will have class, Bhagavad Gita class. Please join, and please don't miss these opportunities. This is so wonderful, so enlivening, so much of purifications. So please try to do as much as you can. Temple visits, all these things. Especially chant the holy name. If you chant one round, just chant extra one more round. Something like that. Those who are chanting 16 rounds, chant extra, another 3-4 rounds or 8 rounds or whatever. Some extra. Put some extra efforts. And Ekadashi is also very powerful. Very, very powerful. One can even just taking the Ekadashi fasting, one can liberate. It's very powerful. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think not taking much time. Thank you so much, Akhilesh Krishna Prabhu, for a wonderful class, wonderful realization.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the opportunity. It was for my own cleansing process, as I was mentioning. Thank you so much for your blessings and order.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Also, I would humbly request devotees, please stay for our book distribution Sankirtan meeting. It's going to start now. This is our weekly call to update, get some updates, and put some new opportunities for the service, so that we can nicely serve Srila Prabhupada. So let's pay our obeisance and thank Akhilesh Krishna Prabhu for a wonderful class. At the same time, let's also pay our obeisances to all the assembled Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindubhya evacha padidanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Kandaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananda Gaudi Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari jai. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you for the wonderful class.
Okay, wonderful. So let's come back to our weekly book distribution meeting. So Puneet Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji, the Mutima, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, Prabhuji, last where we left, just want to pick up from there. So, based on what we decided, that we be going out and distributing cards and books. So, there wasn't that much participation in the previous weekend because devotees were busy. I tried reaching out, but I think they had services and they were, some of them were not reachable. So I went out. I was in the temple on Saturday, got the cards,
okay.
and I started distributing as much, like putting it in the places like in the Indian store and Mithas and the Patel. But and I think Meeta Mataji was also out on Saturday. She was in the temple. She was, I don't know, she was picking. Mataji, you can tell your your activities very over the weekend if you were out anywhere. And Janki Mataji also, she was asking for distributing materials. So that's what had gone on in the previous week. But I think we still have to come out for setting up the table and putting it up in this location.
Yeah. So do we know how much cards left in the temple even?
When I was there on Saturday, there were like three boxes,
Oh,
2 to 3 boxes
2 to 3
remaining.
boxes. Okay,
Yeah.
remaining. Okay.
So
Yesterday, Sunday, Prabhuji, there were some cards. So one pile was there on the desk, on the front desk. So there are quite some still.
So still there are some left.
Yeah, yeah, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay, very nice. Okay. Very nice. Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you. Actually, thank you, all of you, Puneet, Proji, Ida Mataji, Janagi Mataji, going
yeah,
out.
just the matter that the other thing what we, like I said, we decided was to set up a book table. We couldn't do it last weekend,
Hmm.
so probably this weekend we'll be able to set something up.
Yeah,
Uh,
Saturday.
I would need help. Like I said, I need devotees to participate, and if I have a commitment from people or devotees who can join, then surely we can plan something
Right.
in advance.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So I am
Yeah,
available
you're available.
Sunday, and Saturday I'm available after 2:30,
Yeah.
3 o'clock.
Saturday also we have a program in the temple starting from 7 o'clock. It's a Brahmotsav, Saturday and Sunday. And Sunday is Lord Balram's appearance day, Balram Purnima. So yeah, let's keep that in mind. At least Saturday or sometime we can dedicate ourselves, you know, for uh, for the book distribution. Yeah. So let's plan. Let's find out from the devotees also who will be available. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wonderful. So yeah, either Saturday or Sunday. Let's plan Sunday morning maybe, or Sunday, yeah, Sunday afternoon maybe. We can spend some time. At
Yeah,
least,
I will check, Prabhuji.
yeah.
And I think Sunday is also Rakhi, Raksha Bandhan. So
Extra
I
Bandhan,
will
yeah,
see.
that's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah, so I'll see how the availability looks like.
yeah, we can
This
reach.
weekend, I'm not here, Prabhuji, but I'd like to join if anything after that. I think after that there is Janmashtami
Janmashtami is
weekend.
on 29th, yes, but 28th is free actually. There is nothing.
Yeah. So on 28th or anything after that, I'll participate, Prabhuji, if
Yeah,
possible.
yeah. That's good.
Yeah,
Um,
I was going to say if that works out, I mean, if we still, do not have people or they are busy, we can either just continue distributing uh, individually if that's. But I'll let you know, Prabhuji, if that can is manageable.
okay.
And this way, I would also request everybody, Nita Mataji, Janvi Mataji, to procure as much distribution material
Yeah.
as possible. Just to have some stock. So I don't know if Janvi Mataji was able to. Mataji, were you able to locate the cards and the books? Or
Yes, Prabhu, I found the cards and I have some with me. And books I didn't take this upcoming weekend. I'm moving on Saturday and Sunday, so I will uh, probably I can make some time to come and visit for the program, but I'm not sure about the
That will.
setup schedule.
Yeah.
So I will have to just juggle back and forth probably and
Hmm.
see if I can make myself available. So that was the reason I didn't take the books, but I took the cards with me.
So where are you moving, Mataji?
Prabhu, I will be moving in the I think it's from New Brunswick right now to East Brunswick. So I
Oh, I
will
see. From here to.
probably be further like 10 minutes from temple. Usually it takes 20 some minutes, but
Mm-hmm.
now it will be close to 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I
So
thought. Okay.
that is why I didn't take the books with me, but I just took few cards.
Yeah. Yeah. At least 30 minutes is okay. It's not so bad. You know.
I wish I was closer, Prabhuji, to the temple. Yeah. But
Okay.
I want
Prabhu,
to make some time to see if I can make myself available, Prabhu. So let us rediscuss or revisit this whenever Prabhu is thinking, so I can see if I can just slip out for some time or not.
Yeah. You see that, Saturday or Sunday, whichever. I think, yeah, we need Proj will make some calls and see,
Okay.